glasses, so I will be able to read here in just a couple of minutes, so that's a very good thing. Welcome back, Vice Mayor, Council, members of the staff, the public. Always a pleasure to see you all. Happy, healthy New Year is what we hope and pray for everybody. Would you call the roll, please, Russell?
Councilmember Brightcrus?
Here.
Councilmember McKay?
Here.
Councilmember Jablonski?
Here.
Vice Mayor Fisickelli?
Here.
Mayor Nelson?
Here. Well, stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And before we get into public comment, we lost a beautiful man last week. One of our pioneers, always there first anytime we needed him, and the last to leave. And humorous, dedicated. You could always count on Rich Hagan. To know Rich was to love Rich.
Manny.
I'm sorry, Manny Hagan. To know Manny Hagan was to love Manny. And just a beautiful, where's Rich, for crying out, Rich is alive and well and doing very well and living on a big boat. So I apologize for that, Rich. But Manny Hagan, just a wonderful, wonderful human being. He's sorely missed. And again, to know Manny was to love Manny. And if we can take just a few moments of a silence, please. Thank you all very much. God bless you, Manny. We love you. A couple of other things. Want to welcome Rich Strum, our new comptroller that we just came to the town of Southwest Ranches very recently. Rich, great to have you on board. And Marty, I'm not going to steal your thunder, and I know you have a few things to say, but Rich, it's great to have you. And also, I know that they just rotated the captain here in the town of in our wonderful town. Mr. Dale Engel is here with us, and Dale, welcome. It's great to have you. And again, we appreciate everything you guys are doing. You're doing just an outstanding job. And since I did introduce Rich and welcome him, I know you want to say a couple of words, Marty. So by all means.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Council, and the residents of the town of Southwest Ranches. Tonight I have the privilege to officially welcome our new controller, Richard Strum, to our town of Southwest Ranches municipal government family. Richard officially started on January 12th and comes to the town with over 20 years of experience in the corporate sector, working in multiple industries. The governmental industry is new to Rich, but he is excited for this opportunity and looks forward to the challenges. Immediately prior to working for the town, he was employed 5 years as the controller for TMS Health, located in Boca Raton, and which is a call center that represents pharmaceutical companies. Let me give you some background now. Rich grew up in New York and went to Northeastern University in Boston, where he graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in accounting. He started his career in New York before moving to Florida in 2001. His major hobby is that he is an avid runner, a long-distance runner, and he has plans to run this weekend in the Miami Marathon. Rich and his family reside in West End. His wife, Mindy, works in Sunrise for AG Findings within customer service. He also has identical twin daughters. I'm sure we're going to see them around here, who are both seniors at Cypress Bay High School, where they are involved in numerous activities for the school, and who also plan on attending a Florida university in the fall. So let's all give a round of applause and a warm welcome to Rich.
Thank you very much, Marty, and thank you, everyone. It has been a real honor to be selected and now working for the town of Southwest Ranches. As Marty stated, I've been working here now for 2 weeks, and everyone at the town and who I've met has been very, very welcoming to me. So it's definitely much appreciated. As Marty stated as well, I've worked in the private sector all throughout my entire career, but now I look forward to applying that knowledge and those skills to the government sector. This is a new sector for me, and I am very excited for this opportunity. I also know going forward and very soon that we will be working on the 2016 budget process. I look forward to working with everyone who will be a part of that process and getting to know everyone as well. I will also be the liaison to the Fire Advisory Board. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much, everyone. And again, I look forward to working with everyone here. Thank you again.
Yay. Welcome aboard, Rich. Great to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 3, public comment.
Sorry, Mayor. We have 4 speakers tonight. Does anyone else wish to speak before we close the speaking list? Seeing none, we have 4 speakers tonight. In this order, Vince Valletta, Joanne Hollingsworth, Barry Nunzig, and John Eastman.
Good evening, Councilman, Mayor, councilman persons, and everyone in the room. I wish you had a happy holidays. I was going to address you about the town right-of-ways because the code enforcement officer informs me that they're not proactive. But then I talked to one of our councilmen today, and he says they are proactive. Proactive meaning people that are putting driveways and other things in the right-of-way, they should be addressed by the code enforcement rather than complaints. So I would leave it to the councilman to address the code enforcement that the town property is proactive, meaning that rather than complaints, they should be looking for what's going in there. And what I'm addressing is some of the swales have been filled in, some of the driveways have been put in without permits, and this is recent, at least within the last year. So I, without any further ado, I would leave that to the council to deliberate later. While I still have a minute, I wanted to say that Ruth and I were in Tampa this weekend to celebrate her grandson's 13 years old playing in the All-State Jazz Band, and he had a solo spot. So I thought I'd like to say, take my 1 minute, and he did an absolutely grand job. And as always, she is proud of her grandchildren. So I thought I brought it up today, and now I still got 56 seconds.
Save it for later, man.
Yes, I'll save it for later. Thank you, Mayor.
Next is Joanne Hollingsworth.
Good evening. My name is Joanne Hollingsworth. I live on Southwest 199th Avenue, and I wish all of you a Happy New Year since this is the first meeting after the New Year. I'm here this evening to do a little wrap-up and a thank you on the 2014 Southwest Ranches Holiday Fun Horse Show. So I would like to, for the last time on the 2014 show, thank our sponsors, because without their financial support and help, this would not be a unique, and from what I understand, maybe unique in the entire country, I'm not sure about that, free horse show for our young riders 18 and under. I'd like to thank Arnstein and Lear, FP&L, Finish Line Feed, Community Bank, Edible Arrangements, Publix, Hollingsworth Family, Suburban Pool, the Astronaut Parks Foundation, and Bob Hartman Photography for his beautiful pictures. And I'd like to thank our town staff, Andy, Susan, Sandy, December, all the volunteers, and especially our young riders. We increased our ridership for these young equestrians this year, and I hope that for next year we increase it even more. I thank you to all. We will see you again for the 5th annual Southwest Ranches Holiday Fun Horse Show on Saturday, December 12th, 2015. So I thank you all and hope that you will approve that show again. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanna.
Good evening, Barry Nunzig, Sterling Road. Gentlemen, happy Arbor Day. And with that in mind, I would like to bring to your attention the absolute large problem that's starting to occur on Sterling Road between Dykes and 166th Avenue. Freddie, I'm sure you're aware of this. The trees are growing into the road. You can't hardly go down that road with any type of a trailer without causing damage to your vehicle. So that's something that needs to be addressed. That median that's in there is 10 feet wide, and I believe oak trees get to be about 50 feet wide. So the planting there probably wasn't the best when they put those oak trees in there. So that's just one problem that has to be looked at. You have the same problem on Volunteer Road. I know a boat that I have, I can't even go down Volunteer Road going south because of the trees without stopping and waiting for traffic to clear and going on the wrong side of the road. Okay, the next item is the Volunteer Fire Department. You guys made your decision on that. You're going to put a trailer out west. That trailer, when you put that out west, you guys need to have some kind of a plan. You're going to put the volunteers out there. Are they going to stay out there, or are they going to respond to calls back to the east? If they're going to respond to calls back to the east, there's no sense putting them out there. Okay? When they are out there and they do respond to the calls, you do realize that Davie still has to respond to the calls that the volunteers are responding to, because if there's any need for ALS equipment, the volunteers do not provide that. So if you're having a cardiac situation, an asthma attack, hypertension, you're having diabetes emergency, anything like that, anaphylactic shock, the volunteers cannot save your life. Okay? They just do not have the equipment, and they are not going to be able to do anything for you. They have to have Davie on scene. So just understand that that's what you're doing by putting them out there. I think it's a waste of taxpayer dollars, but I know you guys want to try it out to see if it does any good. You're going to find out that it doesn't. So I'm hoping that you guys can put a plan together for what you're going to do with those guys when they go out there. One other thing I want to mention is talk about the brush truck. Again, we have not used a brush truck in this town for a fire in over 3 years. Davie does not have a brush truck because they do not have enough calls that would require a brush truck to support the cost of that truck. Matter of fact, there's not a town around that has a brush truck for that same exact reason. If you guys remember the meeting that the volunteers had with you when they were trying to purchase the fire engine from Plantation, there was a discussion about the brush truck then. I brought up a number, and I was corrected by Leslie Kastner and Lee Bennett, and they said, no, our brush truck only needs to cost us $50,000 to $60,000 because we have one. We can take the box and the equipment off of that and put it onto the chassis. All we need is the cab and the chassis. And I hear numbers of $140,000. Something's not right somewhere. So look into those things, see what you can do. Have a nice day.
John.
Wait, Gina, don't go anywhere. Wave. That's my wife. Gina has just brought me my glasses, and thank you, my dear. Thanks for answering the phone.
What's he want now?
Happy New Year, Council, for those of you that I haven't said it to yet. John Eastman, 188th Avenue. I got a lot of things to hit on real quick here. Number one, traffic. My wife was going to be here tonight to tell you what happened to her a couple mornings ago backing out of our driveway on 188th Avenue. Another neighbor down the street saw her backing out, so she stopped, and she's letting her back out on the street. Well, 3 nursery rigs towing trailers decided to go over the double yellow, and they almost hit her as she's backing out. So she saw them coming, she hit the brakes, and they're like squeaking between all 3 of them. The level of truck traffic on 188th, and I'm talking heavy truck traffic, not just the nursery traffic, but 18-wheelers, dump trucks, service trucks of all kind, heavy trucks. I don't know where it's going, I don't know where it's coming from, but the town needs to stop it. We need some relief on 188th Avenue. Those folks down in the nursery areas, like Steve said, business is probably getting better, but they're diversified now. They're not growing plants down there anymore. They're doing anything and everything they can with that property to make money. Some of the more interesting things are the trash hauling businesses. So we've got outside landscaping companies bringing their yard waste into these specific locations, dumping it, and then they collate it and haul it out. And it's a big cash business. It's not taxed. I'm sure Florida Department of Revenue would like a piece of it. So we're generating all this outside traffic coming into the town, and a lot of it's going down 188th. I have little kids. Our whole neighborhood has turned over. We've got all new families with young children on the street. Halloween is a big event. We had heavy truck traffic. So there's like a 3-prong approach here. One is zoning. We need to enforce the zoning rules we have. I asked you to go proactive on this commercial stuff. We need these commercial businesses that are operating out of homes shut down. We need these nurseries that are not really operating ag anymore, but they're doing these other peripheral things such as vehicle storage. We need them shut down. So we need to get back down in there and do some serious enforcement, get it shut down. That's going to help our traffic. 184th is going to be a big component if we ever get that built. That's probably after I'm dead. But 190th Avenue is now getting pushed back. Please keep up the pressure. Let's get that open. That's going to give us a lot of relief and get a lot of the traffic off of our neighborhood streets. Keith, the school out there. This morning I waited for 5 light changes at about 7:45 to get through Dykes on Griffin Road. It was just backed up. The traffic's horrible. I can't imagine it with another 2,000 cars a day. So please keep up your fight, whatever you're doing with that. Griffin Road is maxed out. We don't need any more on it. Police enforcement is the other part of the equation. We're a no-crime community. What other they have to do than police, than traffic enforcement? Let's become the Waldo of South Florida. Let's get a reputation for not tolerating the speeding and the cut-throughs and the running the stop signs, and start writing tickets to residents as well. No more breaks for anybody. These Looney Tunes come down the street going 50, jumping over the speed bumps. I'm tired of it. My kids can't bicycle. They can't be kids out like I did when I was little. And it's up to you, the town, to protect us from it. Paving, I was out evaluating the 205th Avenue areas there. Those roads don't need paving. We're going to be paving them next year. Maybe we need some tweaking to our paving plan. I'll talk to the engineer about it, but it's not in stone yet. We should be a little flexible and be more efficient with the paving project. We need an access road for the nurseries off of Sheridan. If we put the access road in, we can build them for it. It can be a special taxing district. The land will then be plattable. It can be built upon, and it can start producing taxes and revenue for us. Right now, it's all ag exempt. We get all this traffic, all this mess. These people don't live here. They don't pay any taxes, and we get all the bad stuff from it. So, let's put that road in, get it platted, and get those properties developed so that they're income producing with residential, perhaps estate lots or whatever they choose down there. I agree with Barry on the fire. 95% of the calls are ALS related. We don't need a brush truck. If you're going to entertain something, maybe we need to have another advanced life support crew out west there and make some adjustments. And at our recent HOA meeting, I think pretty much most of the residents were in agreement with that, and they were willing maybe to take on a little more tax load to get an additional ALS truck in service. So it might be something we could put out for a straw vote. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, John. That concludes public comment. Item number 4, board reports. Any board members, committee members have anything to tell us tonight? We love to hear from you. Astor?
Astor Knight, 5480 Southwest 178th Avenue. Mayor and Council, glad to have you back here for the new year. Hope you had a wonderful holiday.
Thank you.
I'm just here to say how pleased and how ecstatic it is to see Saturday coming up when we can open that barn and add a community center to this town. It has been a long fight, long battle. It's good that everybody got behind it and supported it, and now it's come to fruition. It's a beautiful place, and I hope everybody will come out Saturday to celebrate with us the finishing of that barn. Thank you.
Thank you, Astor. Any other board members? Seeing none. Item 4 is concluded. Item number 5, council member comments. Steve?
Sure. A few things to touch on. I guess I'll just respond to a couple of comments that were made in public comment. First, a little bit about the volunteers and them being out west. I'm actually pretty excited that that's going on. It is, in fact, is accurate to say that the volunteers do not provide the ALS. They do provide the basic, the BLS. And but what they do provide by being further, I don't know if I don't want to go through the whole thing, but the furthest out west that we have a Davie fire station is at 172nd. So we don't have anything further west than that, and the response times further out west are significantly higher than to the east. And in addition to that, on the east side at the station at Volunteer, there are actually 2 crews there, whereas out west there's only 1 crew. So if that crew is tied up, we've got some problems out there. So it's critical that the volunteers are there, and they do not provide, let me be clear, and I've never said they have, and I certainly am not saying it now. They do not have the same training or really they have not been certified to do the same services that our Davie firefighters and paramedics do. So they're absolutely correct that to do the ALS, provide those services, we need Davie there. That's absolutely correct. But what this will do is it will allow them, the volunteers, to get there within a couple of minutes rather than the 5, 6, or 7 minutes that it takes for Davie to get there. And they can do some basic services, the BLS services, to help stabilize and prepare the location for when Davie arrives. They do already have a mandate to just service calls out west. Unless they are specifically called on to respond on something major that is east, they no longer do that. And there is a significant plan in place for that location out there, the Broad Wing location, which is basically at just east of US 27 on Griffin Road. And we're already acquiring some of the buildings. I think Andy's done and the staff has done a great job at starting to get that in place, and I'm excited that that's going to be happening. It's definitely needed, and it's good to see it all coming together. John, I appreciate your comments on 188th. I agree with you 100%. It's getting worse. It's not getting better. We have tried to address it through some things like restriping and putting in some of those chokers and things like that. But the bigger issues, we knew that wasn't going to solve everything, but it was trying to do a step in the right direction. But some of the bigger issues are still out there. Enforcement is up. I know that they were out there this morning and issued I think, with 6 different tickets out there this morning, and I believe they're going to be out there for a while, right, Andy? Yeah, so that's going to be one of the areas we're going to focus on here. And also the, just there are other things in the works. 190th, that opening is in the works, and that will be big. And we're actually moving forward with a piece of that tonight. So, I think the pieces are there. It's taken way too long, but it's coming together. I do think that one of the things that we've talked about is the proactive enforcement for those commercial businesses that are out there. And I do think that as a council, we need to look at that. That's a major issue, not only in this part of town, but in other parts of town as well. And it's clearly outside the law. And neighbors, it's difficult in a situation like that to kind of create a pretty powerful enemy there. So it may be something that the town needs to look at and help out the residents with.
Steve, can I jump in with
Sure.
you for just a minute? On the illegal businesses out west, I'm guessing, and I would think a lot of the problem is people that are allowing their property to be used for landscape companies, that type of thing. And I think that in and of itself will be a humongous fix if we address those. But I would say that residents who have the businesses that are in their yard that are licensed to their address and stuff might be a little problematic. I mean, we might want to ask them to do some different things in a different way. But I would tell you the ones that don't have a license at that address, that the people are allowing them to use the property and getting compensated in some way would be clearly
Right. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. I did want to note along the line of 190th that also, Keith, I appreciate your efforts and your staff to get the grant put together for the gate at 190th, and I think we have the first draft of that now is available, so that's right around the corner. That'll be happening as well. So things are happening there, and that's great. One last thing I wanted to touch on. I wish December was here. This is kind of her project, but I did want to mention it. The certified wildlife habitat. I want to challenge my fellow council members here to take a look at that. I think we should lead on this. I know I'm excited about it. We've got a little pond in the back, and we've got the little bird feeder and the whole 9 yards, and it's great. It actually makes a difference because you see it brings birds to your area, and we've sat out there many a day and just enjoyed it. So I just throwing it out there that there are some qualifications for it, but I think we can all do this. The food sources needs to be there, either a feeder or just the natural one is even better. We broke down, did the feeder, but water source, I don't have a big pond by any means, but I do have a permanent little water source there, and places to cover, like a tree. Okay, I think we all got that one too. So, so there's not a lot of qualifications for you, but these applications are out there. I would just encourage you to do that. Thank you.
I guess I'll jump in here. Freddie called me today, and we discussed swales for a little bit. And I called and spoke to Robert briefly. Part of the issue is the people that are not getting permits and put in a swale and don't put in the underground piping or different things that happen. So I clearly think that in a lot of cases, people put the gates too close to the roads so the cars can't get out of the street. So we've been addressing some along the way, I know. No, not Robert, if I said Freddie. Sorry, Robert. I spoke to Robert, and I've actually called him about some gates that were put up illegally that were too close to the street because the cars can't get out of the road right away.
but I don't know if we need to put that on the proactive list or not. So it's kind of a discussion thing here to throw out there. We police it. If somebody reports it or turns it in, it's addressed. But I'm sure there's things that code enforcement sees when they're out there related to new issues in the swales. I know one of the ones we had when the Griffin Road got widened was right up here on Hancock, that property, the guy that did that, all that beautiful landscaping. And the town was going to send him a letter and tell him to remove it. And I said, why would we do that? Just send him a letter and tell him it's on town property. As long as he maintains it, it looks nice, it's fine. But if he doesn't, you know, we're going to ask him to remove it. So that's what we've done in some cases in the past. So I guess on the old swale issues related to the road right-of-ways, I would say those are going to get addressed in the road projects moving forward as we do those. So I guess what I'm asking is not to go back and make old issues that are going to come up when we start doing the roads related to swales as part of that, but anything moving forward that you would see that's a problem or been an issue, that we address that. So I don't know that we want to put that on the proactive list other than just maybe direct code enforcement to address those items if they're new, you know, outside the road right-of-way stuff that we're talking about related to town property. So if they catch somebody filling in a swale, they should address it. If somebody's putting in a driveway and didn't get a permit or stuff like that. So I didn't know what you guys' thoughts were. Vince and I talked about that today, so I was curious on your input related to that. Another one that comes up and is very exciting is the barn for this Saturday. So those of you that haven't been out there or haven't seen it, please come out. I think it's, what is it, 1:30 to 4:30? 1:30 to 4:30 this Saturday. There's going to be a band and food and all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be the grand opening out there. And those of you that have not been out there, you really need to come because it turned out amazing. And I'm thrilled and excited that we got that done as soon as we did. Have another place to meet, another place to use as need be. For this small town to be that far along is amazing. Then on the 190th stuff, obviously that's on the agenda. We're going to approve this stuff moving forward tonight. We have the money to do these projects and quite a few others. Some guardrail along Sterling Road you'll hear about. But other than that, I'm pretty good. So any input you guys want to pitch in along the way here related to that, the code stuff would be great. Thank you.
Yeah. I got a few things. First thing I'll answer, like Steve did, a couple remarks made on public comment. Barry, that tree problem on 166th Avenue is caused primarily with the, when Broward County was doing our work, when it was under cover of Broward, they had a rule on the books, and they were following it at that time. They're not following it anymore. That if you lived on a right-of-way that was a section line, a quarter section line, you had to give up an additional 25 feet. And most of the people on that road have done that. That's why most of those houses are set way back. And so those people, actually, most of that property belongs to the town. Actually, it'd be 40 feet belongs to the town. Now, I understand, I went to Broward County, and they're not doing it anymore, and I know we're not doing it anymore. I don't know if it'd be better to give that right-of-way back if we could, Keith, where the people would take care of it, you know, because nobody's taking care of it now. And there's a lot of trees, they fall over, but it's something that we need to address maybe, and we could go there. Like when my son built in '82, he had to set his house 25 feet back. And you'll notice everybody on that road on the west side have set back that distance. There's only one house that didn't. But that would solve, I think, some of that problem. And another thing, as you know, my son is a volunteer. Was a retired fireman. And we were talking about this fire department, Steve. And he made a suggestion that you may want to look at. You know, we got that property on 190th Avenue. maybe we want to locate something there. Even maybe some of the stuff at 172nd or the stuff you're throwing out there, but that, we already got that property, it's fenced, and we got plenty of field to do anything we want to that we're in there. It's something I just want to throw out. Maybe we want to look at it later. Steve, you know, we got a law on the books that would solve that problem out at the nurseries. The books, it's a rule that we set that you cannot drive a piece of equipment off of a piece of property unless you live on it. Right. And we've got that on the books. So all we'd have to do is get our police out there in the morning. As those guys pull out of there, say, hey, do you live here? If you don't live here, get out of that truck. You can't drive it out of there. We could solve a lot of those problems, I think, if we just up here with that rule.
Yes, I agree with you that the law is on the books, but I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe it's a code enforcement issue, not a Davie police issue, and that's the issue, and that's the problem, is that it takes code enforcement to get involved with it and go through that whole process. It would be nice if we could just write tickets in the morning, but I don't believe we can do that.
It's something I guess we'd have to look at. Maybe we'd have code enforcement police there all at the same time or something.
Maybe, yeah.
But it's something we may want to look at. Primarily, I guess, Aim, I don't have much to report other than the fact is that we're moving right along on two of our projects. At the Fictional project, we got I don't know, maybe they could tell you a little more exactly what date it is, but I know there's two bids going out. One of them is to clear the rest of the trees that are not going to be used there, and the other one is to go ahead and demuck the horse trail and get that done. So we're getting a lot of fill out there. They put more and more fill there every day. So, but let's see, that's primarily all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Freddie. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Since one of the things I do in my day job is run a bar, I'll start out with what do you get when you have two rabbis, a priest, and a deacon all together? You have the annual lighting of the menorah and the nativity scene out front in December. And let me tell you, it has turned into quite a production. We had a really good crowd there. I was on top of the ladder as Andy was, and he did not get that cast from that, with torch lighting a menorah, and it was a new experience for me. But I'd like to thank Rabbi Schwartz and Rabbi Andrew Essa. I probably blotched the name, and I apologize. And Father Hernandez, and of course Adolfo Lantiga for sponsoring, for saying some very inspirational words. It was a very nice occasion, and I think we're going to advertise it next year on the reader boards. We had probably 2-3 dozen people out there. It was quite nice. So I just want to mention that there was a lot of hymn singing and things of that nature. It was good for our town. The other thing I'd like to say is, Steve, my home is certified handicap habitat. I live there, so I'm certified handicap too. But habitat certified on that. The only weird thing is there's no birds whenever I come back from Markham Park out on the target range. I think there's a correlation there, but I never get that.
Oh, and can I interrupt you just for a second? I did have to say that as long as we're talking about things like, I am challenging the reigning champion at chili cook-off again this year. So we're going to give it another go, but he's the champion.
Outstanding. Publix loves you. We're going to have fun this year. So I appreciate the challenge. I'm starting to make the sauce tomorrow. So, anyway,
I'm starting the day before.
On a serious note, I lost a friend a couple of weeks ago, my neighbor, Manny Hagan. We lost a really good guy in our town, and my thoughts and prayers go out to Marion, his wife, and of course his children and grandkids, who I've known since they were little tykes, and they're now bigger than me. Manny served on 2 advisory boards since our town was in inception. As the mayor said, he was one of our volunteers. He did whatever was needed to be done. He was at Winn-Dixie. He was at Publix when we were trying to incorporate back in the 90s. He was helping sell T-shirts. He was walking around with signs, distributing leaflets with Mayor Mecca back in the day, and he captained numerous, in fact, he was the captain for all our street cleanups in Rolling Oaks on Mather Boulevard. He kept it going, kept everybody squared away since my kids were little guys, helping with that. He was the past president of Rolling Oaks Civic Association many times, and he was the past director of ROCA when he wasn't the president. And he was always there at the meeting. He was always there with mangoes, mango bread, and brownies. And he made the best brownies. And he made all different kinds. It wasn't just one kind. He was just a great guy. And if you'll indulge me, Mayor, for a minute, I want to give you just a quick story of Manny that kind of is indicative of his personality and how he was. 20 years ago, I was working in the yard, and he came jogging by, and he asked me how it was going, and I was mentioning that I can't ride my bike anymore down this particular street because I keep getting bit by a particular dog there. And him being an avid cyclist, he said, "You got 15 minutes?" I said, "Yeah, of course, for you, no problem." I didn't realize what he wanted. And he said, "I'll be right back." And he ran off, came back on his bike. He said, "Get your bike, we're going to go find the dog." Well, we never did find the dog. We're still looking for it, but I'm still looking for it. I think the dog heard that Manny was coming. But that was his personality, and his character was, drop everything. Gary needed help, and I'm going back 1995. So I mean, he was just a great guy. He could just always be counted on to help out, and everybody, I'm sure, remembers seeing him up front. He was here every meeting. So Southwest Ranches was his life, and Rolling Oaks in his neighborhood, and I'm really going to miss him. So, and I know all of you will too. So I just wanted to mention all that. Thank you. And I was going to talk about the Rolling Oaks Barn, but I know Andy's got a lot covering that, so I'll leave that for him. And that's about it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Thanks, Gary. All of you, a lot of good comments. Appreciate it. And I know George just came in and very instrumental on the evolution of that barn out there, and it's just absolutely remarkable. And again, everybody's mentioned it. We've got the dedication coming up again Saturday, 12:30 to 4:30. We hope you can make it because it really is something special. And Georgia created a gem out there, and we really appreciate it. Real quickly, too, I want to thank the school board. Andy and I had this conversation yesterday. I don't know, 3 or 4 sites of portables, probably 60 or 70, and invited us to pick one out, whichever one that we would like. So I suspect out of that many options, we'll be able to come up with a good one, for the volunteer fire department. But want to give a shout out for the school board and let them know that we appreciate that donation very, very much. That's all that I have. That concludes council member comments. Go into legal comments. And I know Keith has a few things to say.
Yeah, Mayor, Happy New Year to everyone. Ruth, congratulations on your grandchild. The story, just what Ruth told me, grandchild is 12 years old and was the youngest for the Florida Orchestra at the performance in Tampa playing the trombone, which is an amazing feat. So congratulations to you on that. Looking at my notes, we had a loss today and a win, and I'll start with the sort of loss first. And that response is something that John Eastman said. We tried to go to conflict resolution with Pines to try to see if we could mediate some of our issues with them, and we filed for conflict mediation with the court. The court denied our mediation and said, you're not going to mediate your issues with Pines. So we think they're legally required to. We still believe they are, but I just personally think Broward County today, it's a difficult issue to step in between, feuding municipalities. And as a result, we'll assess whether or not we want to appeal that issue or not. In regards to the school, we've now gone through 2 school years in which the school has not been built. There's a new school coming in Sunrise that's going to potentially impact the school being built. The school would still need to go back before Broward County for approval. We'll have our bites at the apple when it goes before Broward County. So that fight is a long way off, and we're hopeful that at some point in there, our message will be heard. And other things on the potential wind side, Andy and I spent the afternoon at Broward County. And the reason why we spent our day at Broward County is because of the ruling that was entered by the court in the CCA Pines case. In the CCA Pines case, the court ruled that there is not a service area created in the town of Southwest Ranches for supplying water and sewer services to the town of Southwest Ranches. What that means is anyone in the ranches who has water and sewer has it by direct agreement with Sunrise or Pines, and that there's no actual service area where they're required to provide water and sewer within the town of Southwest Ranches. So Andy and I met with the county because we said if under the court ruling we do not have a service area, and it's up to the individual residents and the service provider to decide whether or not they want to allow contracts to be entered into between them, how can you cite our residents and how can you require our residents to test for their wells, and how can you require our residents to hook up when the service provider can deny their right to hook up? This doesn't make any sense. So as a direct result of the CCA decision, Broward County preliminarily in our discussions has agreed with us and said, you're right, the provisions in our code that require hookup and require testing is not applicable to the entire town of Southwest Ranches. So we've asked for them to finally put that in writing to us. They've asked me to respond back with a letter, which I'll do next week. But we think as a result of this issue, this matter is finally concluded that the county has no ability to require water and sewer hookup and testing of wells. So as a direct result of CCA Pines, our residents are potentially fully out of that requirement, and there's no issues with that anymore. So that was on the good news side. I knew Newell and Joanne would be happy to hear that. And by the way, Joanne, to respond to your public comment, those annoying PHI signs that you want torn down, you know, we can talk more about that later. All right, so on a legal side, to give you an update, today we filed a motion for summary judgment in the Pembroke Pines Southwest Ranches litigation. We are filing a simple one-count motion for summary judgment, and it's a breach of contract, just simply saying to the court they were required under our contract to expeditiously approve water and sewer with CCA. Even today, they have not expeditiously approved water and sewer. Court, what do you think expeditiously approved means? And it's a very simple one-count summary judgment, and that will be heard by the court in probably March is when it will be heard. So Pines now, as of today, has 20 days to respond, and then it gets set for hearing thereafter. Beyond thrilled that the Rolling Oaks barn is coming to fruition. Andy, before your time, you know, being on this side of the dais, on this end, I should say, you know, we had a very interesting run there for a while. We had some who wanted to demolish it immediately, not mentioning any names. Some who demanded that BSO put their horses in the facility, not mentioning any names. So there was massive split opinion across the entire council on what to do. So by luck, the town of Southwest Ranches cited Lowe's Home Store because they kept their pallets outside. And as the fines were approaching $50,000, you know, we met with Lowe's and they said, we'd like to settle. And I said, well, you know, what'd you like to do? They said, we'd like to do a construction project in the town, you know, as a way to mitigate what we did with our storage of our pallets. And so at that time, we came to the decision, and the council agreed for various reasons, that they would replace the roof on the barn with Lowe's dollars, which was the first step in really rehabbing the facility. I mentioned to Gary and the mayor that it was such a unique deal to have Lowe's Home Store pay for, the materials associated with the redevelopment of the barn, that following the council vote to do that, I got a knock on my door by a law enforcement agency with 3 letters that wanted to know what happened and how Lowe's would agree to pay for the town. So it was a very interesting day, to say the least, but as a result of truly community effort and the council's vision, which took some time to get there, it's very exciting to see the condition of the barn, and I hope everyone can come out and see it on Saturday for the opening. Make sure I don't miss anything else. Other than that, that is it, Mayor.
Thank you, Keith. Always insightful, that's for sure. And I know you're going to one-up Andy, so item number 7, administration comments.
I don't know about one-up.
I was going to say, yeah, you're probably right.
It was a pleasure to double-team the county with him earlier today. We had a very good, productive meeting. I've crossed out, you've all covered a lot of things I had on my list, so my list is a little bit shorter, but I did want to touch on Manny Hagan. My very first day here, my very first morning, Manny was one of the very first people to come in here to wish me well, welcome me to the family, and brought in a mango bread. So I remember thinking at the time, wow, what a wonderful place this is. So when I think about warmth and hospitality and just friendly welcome in Southwest Ranches, Manny's, he's always going to be associated with that in my mind. So his memory will certainly live on that way. At our last meeting in December, you all approved the policy for the advisory boards, and there was a question that came up after that. Within the advisory boards, the members of the advisory boards are subject to state statute, county ethics ordinance, and the town charter. And there was a question that came up, and I worked on that with Keith, and the answer to that was for the advisory board members, where we would like to insert one more line that says, as may apply for the advisory board members. So it does leaves the state statute in, the county ethics ordinance, and the town charter, but we're adding the phrase "as may apply." So it's not I don't believe it's a substantive change to what you would all approved. I just wanted to give you a heads up on that publicly, let you know we were if council's okay with that, make that addition. Last but not least, the barn. We have a knockdown, drag-out party scheduled for Saturday from 1:30 to 4:30. At 3 o'clock, we're going to have the dedication for the building. We've got live entertainment scheduled. We've got food. We've got soft drinks. We'll have cake, and there'll be games for the kids. We've got some prizes for them to win. We're just looking to have just a great day out, and certainly look forward to seeing all of you, as many residents as we get out there. This is just about having a party and having a good time. And in closing on that, I want to take you back to I'll say my first interview here with all of you when we were in the large conference room. And after you guys, we went around the table and you guys drilled me pretty good. And I'm not complaining because it certainly worked out well. But you gave me the opportunity to ask all of you questions. And one of the questions I had for you was, in your eyes, what would make a successful administrator? What were you looking for as a benchmark for success? And Gary Jablonski said to me, find the money to do the barn. So since we have the party on Saturday, Gary, I'll say Marty and I are ready for a review this evening.
No pressure.
That was good, Andy. How does that feel, Keith?
No pressure.
All right, that concludes item number 7. Item number 8, resolution. For the record, Russell.
A resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Southwest Ranches, Florida, approving an agreement with the State of Florida Department of Transportation for $478,000 to complete the guardrail improvements along Sterling Road, authorizing the mayor, town administrator, and town attorney to enter into an agreement and providing an effective date.
Thank you, Russell.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second to approve. Any members of the public wish to comment on this item? See no public comment. Public comment is now closed. Again, we have a motion second to approve. Any additional questions, comments, or concerns, council? Seeing none, call a question, please, Russell.
Councilmember Bright Cruz?
Yes.
Councilmember McKay?
Yes.
Councilmember Jablonski?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fisickelli?
Yes.
Mayor Nelson?
Yes. Item number 9.
Read in the new one.
It's the same title. Okay. Yeah. A resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Southwest Ranches, Florida, approving a revocable license agreement with Broward County to allow the town's entranceway signs to be located within Broward County's right-of-way, authorizing the mayor, town administrator, and town attorney to execute the agreement and providing an effective date.
Mayor, just for the record, there was one modification of this resolution that was updated to you all. It was updated on the website several days ago. I know there was removal of 160th Avenue from the resolution. So
Yeah, Mayor, if I can clarify that.
Yes, Andy, go ahead.
The reason that was removed, that intersection is actually under the jurisdiction of
Yeah,
both
that's-
Broward County and the South Florida Water Management District. So we had a little conflict in the location on the signs. We're in the process of resolving that, and that one will be back to you, certainly, hopefully, no later than the second meeting in February, at worst, first meeting in March.
Also, one more change just for the record. The second whereas clause where it says 4 signs, it's actually 3 signs because of the elimination of 160.
Make a motion to approve as amended.
Second.
Motion is second to approve as amended. Any members of the public wish to comment on this item? See no public comment. Public comment is now closed. Again, we have a motion to second approve. Any additional questions, comments, or concerns, council? Seeing none, call the question, please, Russell.
Councilmember Bright Cruz?
Yes.
Councilmember McKay?
Yes.
Councilmember Jablonski?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fisickelli?
Yes.
Mayor Nelson?
Yes. Item number 10.
A resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Southwest Ranches, Florida, approving an agreement with the State of Florida Department of Transportation for $243,000 to extend Southwest 190th Avenue from 49th Street to Griffin Road, authorizing the mayor, town administrator, and town attorney to enter into an agreement and providing an effective date.
Thank you, Russell.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. I think he beat you to it, Gary Freddy. Any members of the public wish to comment on this item? Come on up, Paige. Nice to see you.
Grab the mic.
Yeah.
There you go. You can take it out if you want.
Thank you.
Okay. Hello. There were so many emails going around, but no one really showed up, I guess. So I just wanted to say that as you guys unravel this step by step, I'm nervous that they'll open 190th and everybody can come from Sheridan with no speed humps down the road. So Steve has worked really well to say that he will kind of make sure that that doesn't happen. And I just wanted to let you know that for me, I don't, 57th, 54th, given our private roads and the lawsuits and things that we've endured as a community, I really am not excited to have horses, ATVs, and walking pedestrians through there. Unfortunately, but if they want to visit, they can go down 63rd and come around. And that's, if we could just block it off completely on those 2 spots, that would be awesome. And this was obviously premature to come, but since I was already here, I wanted to stay and at least throw that at you as the plans unravel. I'm sure Steve will keep us all in the loop, and I appreciate it and all your work. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paige. Nice to see you. Any other public comment, John?
This has been a slow train coming, and I want to thank all of you for getting us to this point. When 345 was platted, they should have had their own entrance, but for some reason they just connected them on 188th, probably to save money on, road construction. But there's a tremendous amount of traffic gets dumped on 188th, and this is going to solve it. And I think the people that live in 345 will enjoy having direct access and the security of their own gate. So anyway, thank all of you very, very much, and please make this happen this year.
Thank you, John. Any other public comment? Seeing no further public comment, public comment is now closed. Again, we have a motion and a second to approve, and I see a couple of fingers. Steve had his up first, Freddie, and then your second.
Great, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, just a quick comment that I do appreciate everybody's work on getting this done. The goal is to have the gate in place when the road is completed, but I want to, just kind of reinforce that if the road is completed and the gate is not in place to be able to be there, that we're all comfortable that we're going to close off that road until the gate is all in place. So I'm hoping that we're all still comfortable with that. The important thing is that that road is not opened without any restriction to the north. And As far as closing off 54th and 57th, I mean, my personal preference is to allow no ATVs or anything like that, but pedestrian and equestrian. But it's the residents' choice. It's not my choice. I'm fine either way. I don't want to slow up the project in any way. It's whatever their choice is. So, you know, we look forward really to hearing from 345 and more of the consensus of what 345 would like to do there, and so that we can proceed there. But to me, the most critical thing, and really this is actually in 345's control, because it is a private road, and so if that road gets put in before the gate is ready, it's within 345's power to put up those cement blocks as well. So, but hopefully as a town, we'll be able to assist and make sure that that's not needed from 345, and we'll do it ourselves. So, thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Freddie?
Yeah, when I was reading through this, there's a lot of requirements that you got to do and everything I see. But one thing came to mind, and I guess Emily could maybe address them more than anything, because I imagine she wrote the grant, apply for the grant. But are we covered, Keith? In other words, we went to the state to get this money to pave this road. You know, can we close it? That's my question. I don't know how the grant was worded, but I would hate it to come back and say, well, you went there to do this, and it looked like it was open the road. Now you're going to close this road. After I read it and read through everything, I couldn't read anything in there saying anything about it, but I just thought I'd bring up the question.
First, I want to make one clarification. This is not a grant. This is an appropriation from the state. Major difference, because grants come with requirements. This is a free gift to the town.
But still, we applied to the state for the money. So I don't know how that application was put in.
It's not like a formal application. It was more of, hey, we'd like this road. What do you think about doing it? You know, it's more of a request. It's more informal. But to answer directly your question, we're not going to be closing the road. We're just not going to be opening the road, and there's a major difference between that. So there's nothing wrong to have a condition precedent before the full opening of the road, and that's essentially what the council is dictating. They're saying we want to build it, but we can't open it until we do something else, you know, to make sure that it works properly, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. How's this gate that is being proposed getting paid for?
We're not building a gate. We're not paying for a gate. I want to make that clear because legally we're not allowed to. Instead, and Councilmember Bright Cruz stated it previously, the town, whether you do it annually, whether you do it just one time, you know, whatever you want, is going to be offering to its communities a neighborhood safety grant for communities. And if Griffin 345 chooses to apply, and if the council chooses to award them funds for a neighborhood safety project in their community, and they utilize the funds to gate in their private roads, that's strictly up to them. So hopefully that answers that question. In regards to the funding, Andy and I actually spoke about that earlier, because neither of us recalled if you actually put a line item in the budget for this grant. It was contemplated and was discussed, but if it's not directly in there now, you'll have to move funds from your reserve into your general fund to pay for it.
Because in the past, we did have a beautification fund project that we contributed to.
Same thing.
HOAs type of thing. But, okay. All right. All right.
Okay. Moving along, guys, doing a great job getting that reconciled out west. We have a motion, and Gary, did you have any comments? Good. We have a motion and a second to approve. No additional questions, comments, or concerns, Council. Russell, call the question, please.
Yes.
Councilmember McKay?
Yes.
Councilmember Jablonski?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fisickelli?
Yes.
Mayor Nelson?
Yes. Item number 11, and again, it's that time. I know that we had postponed the process. Initially was scheduled in December, and that was a request of Andy. And again, it's the review of our charter members, which is our town manager, which is our finance director, and our city clerk. So with that being said, and I know that you all have information, and Andy, I'm going to turn it over to you to get us started, because I know that all of us have feedback with regards to this.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Actually, just very brief comments this evening. This is actually my third review, and Marty's as well. Time flies when you're having fun. This remains, it's certainly in my estimation, a wonderful place to work. I think we've made a tremendous amount of headway. I know staff is working very well together. We enjoy working with council. We enjoy working with the residents. We've got a very good team going. And I'll just tell you, it's my pleasure to serve as your town administrator. And, you want me, I'm here.
We want you.
Mayor.
Marty, we want you. Russell, we want you. Go ahead, Keith.
As part of their annual review, which we always do, I sat down with Andy, and I asked him, essentially, what are you all looking for? Andy and I go back and forth a lot in the discussion. He starts out here. I start out giving him a deduction. And after a couple hours of discussion, he and I felt comfortable proposing a proposal to the council on the 3 charter positions, which I emailed the council back in October, I think, or November. Obviously, that it's fully in your discretion. That is just basically the ask that they are asking for, but this is the time where you are to debate each one of them, and you should probably do it in, one at a time rather than collectively, and look at what they were seeking and determine whether or not you have any thoughts on the matter. There is one thing that I want to add, because I know it came up as part of the discussion, that a lot of the council, and this is being on this side again where you can hear individuals, but I'm not allowed to tell everyone what people think, but a lot of the individuals felt that if they were going to give any salary increases at all to Marty and Andy, particularly because you're newer, Russell, but as it related to them, that they wanted essentially a more definitive determination that they would be here for a longer period of time. So as part of the proposal that Andy and I discussed, and I'll tell you, it's some people like it, some people hate it. I think Marty liked it, Andy hated it. But, as part of the proposal that they did, they both agreed to an additional 3-year commitment to the town. And in the event that they leave before the 3-year period, they would refund to the town the amount of money that they were seeking additional in their compensation. So that was one way that they were trying to entice the town and basically say to the town, we're giving you a 3-year commitment. Again, there's pros to it, there's cons to it.
Can I get 4?
I think 3 was the most after much discussion. So, it's something for you to consider. You all actually, this is not new to the town. You all had that clause in several other contracts. In fact, you had it, you may recall, with Chris Russo, but when Chris left, the town actually waived its decision to seek reimbursement of the funds. I used that as a negotiating ploy to tell Andy why it was okay. So just want to throw that before you as an option as well on the table.
Thank you, Keith. Council? Freddie?
Yeah. Marty, what I'm looking at is discussing my...
Is that, so we want to start with the finance director first? Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to do one at a time, I assume, correct? Isn't that the process?
Okay.
So if you want to start with the finance director.
I'll start with everyone.
I'd like to start with Andy, actually. Let's start beating up from the top and work our way down. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Andy first.
I'll skip right now.
Yeah. You want to?
No.
Okay.
Maybe, Mayor, if you can state, if you're starting with Andy, state on the record just what Andy currently makes and what he was seeking.
Okay. Currently, Andy's annual salary is $137,500 and there were two proposals.
Mayor, correction. Andy.
It was 145 currently. I'm not sure which document that is, but it's currently 145.
Okay, mine's not correct, but that's okay.
My apologies.
That's okay. Not a problem. $145,000, and there are two proposals on the table. One to bump it up to $145,000 to $150,000 with a 2.5-year commitment, and the other proposal is $155,000 to 3.5-year commitment, and retirement contribution going from 5% to 8%. And is that correct? Is that where we are? Okay. So that's where we are, Council, Vice Mayor, Council. And from my perspective, listen, if I'm inclined to go to $155,000, and here's why. That out of the 20 municipalities that responded to our request for a salary survey for all municipal managers in Broward County, I think that will bump him into the lower 5. There would still be 22 municipal managers making more than Andy. I think that on the lowest scale it would be Wilton Manors, which is $140,000. West Park would be next. And again, this is out of 27, and I'm working my way from bottom to the top. West Park is $142,900, and then it would be Lighthouse Point, which is $146,000, and then Dania Beach at $148,000, and in fact, Andy would fall into the category of 145. So right now he's 4th lowest out of the 27 municipalities. So from my perspective, and I agree with Doug, I'd like to squeeze another year out of him, you know, quite frankly, because we've got an outstanding team. We're very, very fortunate to have the people that we have. We all know of the dedication. We all know of time is not a consideration. It's all about getting the job done and doing it right, and that's a real nice feeling to have from a historical perspective, because you're all very much familiar. We know where we started, and it really is a nice place to be, especially where we are today. And again, you know, comparatively, I don't have any problem moving Andy from 4th lowest to 5th lowest with regards to the recommendation.
Mayor, where are you on the retirement benefit?
Where am I? That's
Add the year.
right. I know that we're currently at 5%. I know they're like 8%. I think that maybe that is a little bit high, but I got to tell you, we talked about some of these compensation packages and the retirement contributions, and let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, what exists out there, you would be shocked. You would be absolutely shocked. I'm inclined to say no problem with 6%, but I wouldn't have an issue with 8%, and I'll leave that up to you all. So anyway, my recommendation, my thought is to go to $155,000, and maybe I like to see him commit to 4 years instead of 3.5. That's my thought. Steve?
Thank you, Mayor. Couple of thoughts. One is I did do actually. Oh, okay. Well, there was a performance evaluation document that was produced for Andy, and I went through it, and he did exceptionally well on it. You know, last year, my personal philosophy on reviews is it doesn't matter how good you are, there's always areas you can improve upon. And so I did a couple of those things last year, and you know, things that I thought Andy could improve upon. And I can't tell you the number of people that came up to me and afterwards and said, "What's your problem with Andy? Don't you like Andy? Isn't he not doing a good job?" So I'm not doing that this year, okay? I filled out the form. There's the answers. So he does a great job. I'm very pleased to have him here. And I think we're going to talk about Andy, but let me just say that I think we've got an exceptional team in place. And that's not only these three individuals, which I think are exceptional, but to our entire staff and what's been built here, the morale, the way they jump in, do things, just go beyond what's required. And I think that starts at the top, and I think it starts at the very top. So I'm all for locking in this team, starting at the top for as long as we can. Mayor, I'm on board 100% with your comments, the 155 for the 4 years. And I would say...
Let me jump in just a second here, because if it was 3.5, we were going to 4. I want to go to 4.5. I want a whole additional, I want an entire additional year, not just 6 more months.
I don't want to, okay. I will say, from a retirement standpoint, I would feel comfortable maybe in the middle there at 7% is kind of where I would fall. I'm not going to argue about it. If it takes 8, I'll go with 8. But I think 7 is, I'm a little bit more comfortable with that. That's a more reasonable number.
And I was at 6, and like I said, I don't have any problem with 7 or 8.
Was he 155?
Okay, at 155.
Okay, I'm going to make it real simple. I'm not going to be as long-winded. I'm going to ditto everything you guys said. I talk to Andy at least every day. His open door policy with the residents, what he does, how he runs his town, how he gets his staff to do what he needs to do, and what an awesome staff we have. I'm on board with all of it, but I'd like 5 years. I don't know that I'm going to get 5 years, but I want at least an additional year from whatever you were asking for. I don't have a problem on any of what you're asking for. I'm on board with the 155. I don't care 6, 7, 8. I'm on board with the 8 because you did such a bang-up job here. You're unique. They broke the mold when we got you, and I'm so grateful to have you. I just can't tell you. So,
ditto, ditto, ditto.
Andy, you said that about Ken Fields, too.
No, he didn't. I will tell you. That's
Listen.
not true. That's not. I'll cover you for that, dog. No, that's not true.
Mayor, if I may.
That's not true. Gary.
Yeah, let me jump in here. I'm not going to be able to add much to this because Andy does such an outstanding job, and I really feel that our team is slightly undervalued, and we get a lot of bang for our buck. And I would like to point out to all the residents that since Andy and Marty have been here, we have run a surplus budget every year in multiple 6 figures. I know he's cringing as a manager right now, but I really look at that as the frugality and the smart decisions made, as opposed to not doing the projects the way they need to be done. They are getting done. They are getting done on time. And like anything else, things take time. Nothing is tomorrow. I'm okay with the 8% if we can go to 5 years. Not a problem at all. Otherwise, I'll go to the will of the will of the rest of the rest of the dais. But yeah, I'm fine with the extended amount or in the extended time frame for Andy. He does a great job. And we need to let him know that.
Thank you, Gary. Freddie?
Yeah, I agree with all of it, but one thing, where I read it, that if you decide to leave, you're just going to give his money back. I want it written a little different, that you can't leave.
That's good, Freddie. That's,
is that saying he has to give it all back and not just the difference?
So listen, this is a wonderful thing to have this conversation. I mean, it really is. I mean, you think about it, put things into perspective in light of the environment that exists out there in this particular type of branch of government and relationships and personalities, and this is remarkable. And everybody's on board with regards to the recommendation. The only thing is the retirement contribution. I said 6, Steve said 7. And again, I don't have a problem. Whatever you all decide, I'll go along with it. And that's the only thing I think we need to reconcile.
Yeah, Mayor, we just need a motion and a second, and then I have a legal question for the council. Andy's, and as well as Marty and Russell's contracts were originally approved via resolution. This is a noticed agenda item, but because of the fact that we didn't know where you all were going on it, we didn't specifically draft contract amendments. If it's the will of the council, what we have done in the past is we did an after-the-fact resolution codifying what your decision was, not bringing it back to the council, but just signing it and implementing. So it's up to you how you would want to enact your measure tonight.
Steve?
Yeah, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we increase Andy's salary to 155, that
6 years, no.
we do the prorate kind of lock-in payback deal at 4.5 years, and have a retirement contribution of 7%.
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion and a,
And again, is the council okay with us documenting this after the fact rather than having to bring it back?
If that's
before
the easiest way for you to get that done, I'm fine with that.
Prevents double debate on the same issue. Okay.
I'm fine.
listen, I don't have any issues or problems with that. As all council, Vice Mayor, anybody have any issues or problems with that? Andy?
Yeah, Mayor, I just want to ask a question. My contract, the current contract has 2.5 years left on that.
They're extending it by
So we're
2
talking about taking the 2.5 years that are currently left, adding 2 years to it, so I'll have
No.
4.5 years on
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Okay.
we're adding 4.5 years.
Okay, no, I'm comfortable with the motion as it was made.
And it's a 2-year extension based on your current agreement, but that would mean that if you leave any time between now and 4 years, your $10,000 a year bonus, essentially increase in salary, would be paid back to the town.
Why does it not add on to the tail end of his contract? What do you mean you're only adding 2.5 years? I don't get that.
It's not an indentured servitude. It's a.
Why not? Truthfully, I want to add on to the back of his contract. I just don't want to extend it that short period of time. Then we'd be talking about 2.5 years.
He's standing next to you right now, but I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but I want 6.5. Because you already have 2. I have 2 left on the existing one.
Yeah.
So I want 4.5 more on the back end of that. I don't want to just add a couple of years on your existing one.
He'll be in retirement by then.
That's right. He can't retire till we do.
I guess I appreciate the spirit of that. I don't think it's realistic to lock somebody in for that length of time. I do think could we prorate this or have this start as of January 1st? Does that be appropriate to do it as of that date?
2014, right? Or
15. 15.
Okay.
15.
Just checking.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would amend it so that it starts as of January 1st.
You know what that does, don't you?
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, absolutely. You're in pretty good shape.
No, that doesn't make us in great shape.
No,
what it
I
does,
saying 4.5.
in the middle, in 2 years from now, there's 3 of us up for election. And halfway into that, whatever that next term in, who's ever up here, is going to have to deal with this all over again.
No, you have 4 years.
Yeah,
from
4.5 years. It'll be 2019.
Yeah, but there's 2 years. There's 3 council members that are up for election in 2 years.
Yeah, but he's
And it's a 4-year term. So halfway into your next term, you got to deal with this again.
This contract will extend into 19.
Oh, he's saying halfway through the.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. Yeah,
You're not getting it.
yeah, no, I hear Doug. I hear what you're saying. You're absolutely right. Listen,
I don't think 3 of us want to deal with that again.
from a historical perspective, with regards to tenure, or the average number of years that a municipal manager stays within that municipality, I think is 4 or 5 years. It's not significant. So
He's a lifer.
no, I hope so. Well, listen, for the town of Southwest Ranch, and Doug, I agree with you. I hope that is indeed the case. So, I don't have any problems with that, Steve. I agree with you. 4.5 years, so that would take us to 2019 and a half. Okay, and I see you nodding over there. Okay, and the 7%, is that what that's where we are? Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve that compensation package. Any members of the public wish to comment on this item? Seeing none. Okay. Any additional questions, comments, or concerns, council? It's a confirmation you're doing a hell of a job, Andy, as is your team, and we're thrilled to have you and thrilled to lock you in for an extended period of time. We're very, very we haven't voted yet. Just wait. I see you're ready for a speech. You know, you got to get 3 votes first. You know, we haven't officially taken the vote. Okay. Russell, will you call the question, please?
Councilmember Bright Cruz?
Yes.
Councilmember McKay?
Yes.
Councilmember Jablonski?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fisickelli?
Yes.
Mayor Nelson?
Yes. Congratulations, Andy.
Mayor, next
Wait a minute. He's got something
Not going
to
to yield
say.
the floor quite yet, but yeah, Mayor, I just want to say thank you to you and to the rest of the council. You know, you're all just a pleasure to work with. You make it very easy. The residents here are wonderful. They treat me like I'm part of the family, and certainly, in some ways, one of my biggest thanks is really for the staff here, because I'd certainly be lost without them. So I thank each and every one of them for their contribution. They come in, work very hard for this town every single day, and I'm grateful to have them with me. Thank you.
Ditto, ditto, and ditto. We're very, very fortunate. You got an outstanding team. I think it's unprecedented, and we're just thrilled. Everybody, you know, not only charter members, but also the rest of the employees. Listen, it's a pleasure to come here. It's like a family. You know, it's just not to do work and do business. We accomplish that, but it's also a family, and it's just a very cool, unique environment, and it's something I think all of us up here are very proud has evolved into. Okay, Keith.
Yeah, Mayor, next on up for review and
Hope yours is
consideration
easy, Marty.
is the financial administrator. Fortunately, he says that this is not in the budget, so we can skip him and go. If you could please state.
Sure, I'll find the money.
Yeah, what he's currently making and what his ask is as well.
Just to make sure, Andy, I have 102,500. I don't think that that's the case. I think it's 108,000. Okay. Currently, his salary is 108,000. What's being proposed is go to 118,000. And if you take a look at the other financial administrators, it is about the median. And we also have on the table, as a result of that increase, that Marty will also make a commitment for 3 years. Listen, I'd like to do the same thing as we had a commitment from Andy Burns. I think everybody's saying the same thing. Absolutely. At 4.5 years. And again, it's 5% retirement contribution to 8%. And now we're at 7. I don't have any issues with that either. Again, from a historical perspective, we know the history. There is, again, we have a financial administrator. I know Rich, I'm sure, is going to have an outstanding work ethic as well, and I'm sure he's going to do an outstanding job for us. But there's many, many nights that you can come by at 11 o'clock at night. That light is still on in that office, no matter what the project is, no matter what he's working on, no matter the issues. He stays. He does it, and not only does he do it well, but he does it professionally, ethically, and again, you bring up a good point about excess, surplus. Every year we've been able to do that. And, I mean, I can go through, a lot of the accomplishments, Marty, and there are a lot. We know what they are. You don't need to blow your horn. We know what you do for us each and every day. We're very fortunate to have you, and as I said earlier, these 3 charter positions along with the other employees, we're very, very, very fortunate to have this team. And from my perspective, I can't, say enough about it. So I don't have any problem with 118,000. I don't have any problem, and I'm sure, hopefully, Marty, you feel the same about extending it a year and a half, and I don't feel bad about suggesting that you do that to 4.5 years, and again, to offer the same retirement contribution, which is 7%.
And Mayor, again, because Councilmember Bright Cruz properly added it to the last one, in the commencement date on the salary change.
It'd be the same. I think it'd all should be everybody on board, everybody the January the 1st.
First,
Okay.
of 15.
That's where I'm at, gentlemen. Steve?
Thank you, Mayor. I I agree once again with your comments there. I think that the 118 is well-deserved. I want to just add that, onto your comments, that I think beyond what Marty has done year in, year out in delivering an incredible product, I think what else he has put in place is he has put in place some processes and some parameters that will serve us well, serve this town well, years and years and years from now, because he is so organized and so well planned out this whole process that, I think back, we had some quality folks before, but I see, a dramatic difference in how well we understand everything that's going to happen, when it's going to happen. We know what's going to happen in August, and it's delivered to us in March, and we see the whole thing, and everything clicks off just the way he says it's going to happen. So that's a tremendous process. There's not a lot of folks that can deliver that can lay that out and then deliver on it as well. So we've got an exceptional individual here, Marty. Great job. Just proud to have you here. Want to keep you here for as long as we possibly can. 4.5 years sounds incredibly good to me. And Mayor, I'm on board with 7%, 118, and 4.5 years.
Thanks, Steve. Doug? I'm going to make it real easy. Marty, you're awesome. We're privileged and honored to have you. You're a different duck, but you work for us. Okay? The only thing I think we ought to add in there a little different is maybe a Murphy bed for your office. So if you can find a place in the budget to put a Murphy bed, you might even enjoy it a little bit more. So aside from that, I'm on board with everything you guys have said, so thank you.
I think they've said all that could be said, and I won't say too much. I just agree with them, Marty.
Absolutely. Echoes the last go-around we had. It's a team, and the team's got all the controls in place for the future. It's money well spent. And if somebody wants to make a motion, I'll make it.
I'll make a motion.
Go ahead.
So I'll make a motion that the salary.
Make sure
the salary is the salary for Marty, the financial administrator, would be $118,000 a year, 7% contribution to retirement, commitment for 4.5 years, starting as of January 1st, 2015.
Second.
I see just for the record, Marty, I see you shaking your head.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I want to thank you all. We've had an exciting...
Wait a minute now, we haven't voted yet.
Let us vote. Let us vote.
You said the 4.5 years. Just yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
That's where we are. Again, we've got a motion and a second.
One question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we afford it?
Yes. 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 That's a good question, Freddie. Again, we got a motion and a second to approve $118,000, 4.5-year commitment with a 7% retirement contribution. Any members of the public wish to comment on this item? Seeing none, public comment is now closed. Council, we have a motion and a second to approve that salary and benefits. If there aren't any additional questions, comments, or concerns, I will pass it over to Russell to call the question.
Councilmember Brighters?
Yes.
Councilmember McKay?
Yes.
Councilmember Jablonski?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fisickelli?
Yes.
Mayor Nelson?
Absolutely.
Mayor,
Go ahead, Heath.
Marty mentioned that he has a thank you PowerPoint presentation.
I heard there was some kind of a glitch, so the TVs weren't working, so I apologize for that, Marty.
There's no PowerPoint tonight, but I wanted to thank you. Well, we've had an exciting year. We have a lot of goals and objectives. Andy, of course, is going to present the strategic plan to you for this year. We look forward to those. 4.5 years is a new commitment for me, but I look forward to it, and I want to thank you very much.
Tom, thank you. Thank you. We appreciate everything. Again, you can certainly clap. Again, the new guy on the block Go ahead, Keith.
Mayor, the final review on salaried employees is the town clerk. Russell will almost be here, is almost here a year, will be officially a year in March. Unlike the town administrator and the town financial administrator, who has definite terms, clerks have indefinite terms, meaning that they're hired and fired at will, so it's up at the whim of the council. That being said, if you could please, in addition to seeking a little additional higher salary, part of the reasoning when Andy and I met is Andy would like to increase the job duties in job title of Russell to give him additional duties at the town. And that is the direct reasoning for seeking an increase within a year time frame. So I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Keith, and that's absolutely correct. Currently, Russell's salary is $77,500. The request is to bump it up to increase the salary to $87,500. And again, since would it be appropriate, Keith, despite that relationship, to incorporate as part of that commitment, or?
It's up
Can we?
Well, that's the other thing. Can we?
I mean, subject to his approval, you can do whatever you want.
No, well,
you're the council.
And Russell, listen, understanding the relationship and the uniqueness of your position. Listen, you're doing an outstanding job. We're very, very fortunate to have you, and I don't have any problems recommending it. Listen, the town clerk's position is an exceptionally important position because, quite frankly, if you don't have the right person over there protecting the town, it could certainly be very problematic. I think that we all agree with that. And then in conversation with Andy with regards to adding the title of assistant town administrator and increasing those responsibilities and having somebody in place when Andy is not here. And I know that as a result of that recommendation, Russell, why it's only been a year, he says that no question, no ifs, ands, or buts in his mind that you could certainly do the job. We're very fortunate to have Russell, and just an outstanding, dedicated individual. He puts the time in whatever it takes, and to keep the town, out of the newspaper, out of trouble, public records requests. I mean, we can go on and on and on from a legal perspective. He's got a tremendous responsibility with potentially a tremendous amount of liability. And it's been seamless. It's been wonderful. It's been fantastic. We haven't had any glitches. So I certainly have no problems with accepting what's been recommended, and agree that the new salary be $87,500. I guess we can talk to Russell here in a minute, depending upon how you all feel with regards to commitment. Also include the additional responsibility or title of assistant town manager. Is that correct, Andy? Assistant town manager, city clerk /
Administrator.
Assistant town administrator, along with the 7% contribution. That's where I am. Steve?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to just ask Andy to talk a little bit about those extra responsibilities, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, if I may, Mayor. Some of the additional things that Russell has taken on, given the background that he has, the depth of experience that he has taken over, as you know, as the primary person for the town on implementing our strategic plan and working on that. That's something that's going to be very critical, certainly to the future of the town, especially that we get off to a good start with that and how we track that data and record that. So Russell's going to be handling that. As you know, in the budget this year, we put in the money for the large format scanner and printer. Russell took the lead on that project. One of the things that we're working on now is the overweight vehicles and being able to charge for that, the credit card processing, everything else. That's a project that Russell's taken the lead on. He's also, with Peter Brill departing for the county, he's taken on the IT liaison responsibilities and has done very well with that. So So there are a lot of projects that we certainly want to throw at him to continue to do that. I believe it's the right thing from a continuity standpoint, I'll say, I don't want to say succession planning, but as you've extended my contract, I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon, but we all know, accidents happen. The town needs to be prepared.
Mayor?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
He didn't listen to his wife, by the way.
Yeah. I did speak to Russell briefly, and he's not prepared at this time, because we haven't spoken about it, to put a length term on his contract. And from a true standpoint, I don't blame him. And the reason is if you remember, Erica left because of the salary, really location and salary as a result of where she left. Russell has 2 master's degrees, obviously public administration, et cetera. And he's also personally looking for the future to get to the next level of his career. So while he just told me, and he'll speak, that he's incredibly grateful and appreciative of this conversation right now, he doesn't want to be put in a position where he's forced to make a wrong decision. And so he respectfully requested, I'm speaking for him, so I apologize, but that it just be considered in of itself with the termination as contained within the contract as it exists.
And listen, I do appreciate that, Russ, and I understand from your perspective where you come, but if you don't ask, you don't know. And yeah, exactly. And again, Steve, you had the floor.
Great, thank you, Mayor. I do absolutely agree with the increase up to 87.5. Russell, you do a fantastic job. In the short time you've been here, you've accomplished an incredible amount, and walked into, with some public records requests and things, you walked into some pretty deep waters. So really appreciate what you've done. And I respect your opinion as far as locking in longer. We'd love to have you longer here, but in the reality, you've been here less than a year. You're working on other things. So I think that I respect what you're saying there, and I'm comfortable with that. But know that we're happy to have you here for a very long time.
Absolutely. Doug?
Russell, it's a pleasure and honor to have you. We were lucky to get you, and you've been nothing but an added plus for us, and so thank you. What do I need to do to twist your arm to give us some kind of time? I understand 4.5 years was probably way too much in your circumstance, your scenario, and you'll want to come back, and because you're probably at the bottom of where you need to be. So I must say, I can probably see you coming back sooner than the rest of these guys at the moment. So. And I could clearly understand that. So I'm on board with what they want to do, but I'd just like to know a little time, or give you the right to have the window to come back to ask for more money. So I don't want to, if I'm locking your hands for time, I think I have to give you a window to be able to come back to ask for more money. So let me present it that way.
Yeah, and I understand, we recognize, and obviously, Russell, how talented you are, not only as the clerk, but the fact that Andy's making the recommendation that also include in your title being the assistant town administrator. So, and I get the impression, obviously, that you have, potentially other aspirations. And obviously, from our perspective, in the short time that you're here, it's only been a year. We recognize how talented you are. Obviously, Andy recognizes how talented you are, because we wouldn't have included the assumption or the recommendation of the assumption of those duties if he didn't feel that you're doing an outstanding job. So we're recognizing, obviously, where you are and where you want to go. And again, we're giving you additional responsibilities because you do just an outstanding job for us. And I understand it. Listen, I understand it. I'm with Doug. Listen, I wish that I could get the same amount of time, but I certainly understand from your perspective, being in your shoes, and why you feel the way that that you do. And there isn't any ill will, hard feelings, or whatever. But when you have a team that has accomplished so much, is working together, that does such a great job. Listen, we're selfish, you know, and whatever we can, and again, you know, it goes both ways. You guys, you know, with what we're doing tonight, everybody recognizes the outstanding job in the service, but, you know, we're a little selfish as well. And again, when you have this kind of a team in place, you'd like to see it carry on for an extended period of time, that's for sure. Freddie, and then I'm going to get to you, Gary, and then we'll give you an opportunity.
Only thing I'm worried about, every time we tack that assistant town administrator on, he gets hired from somebody else. So I'm not trying to hold you back.
You're right.
But it happens.
You're right.
But I'm hoping that you'll stick with us instead of.
You're right, Freddie. You hit the nail right on the head. That's for sure. And I know it's obvious you have other aspirations, and God bless you. You're a talented individual. Gary.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Class act. Class act, no doubt about it. I would like one tweak. I'd like to round it up to 88 even, as opposed to 87.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
No problem with that? Okay. I don't have any issue with that. So again, $88,000 a year, assuming the additional title of Assistant Town Administrator with a 7% retirement contribution. And we do have a motion. Do we have a motion in a second?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay.
I'll make a motion to approve, but I'd like a window. But I also want to throw in, he does live close by. He doesn't have to drive far to work. There's a whole lot of other things that come into play here. The same thing applies to Marty. So, guys, you're not spending an hour, 2 hours in your car every day going to and from work. So keep all that stuff in mind.
Future discussion.
Yeah. So we got, Doug, you made the motion to approve?
Yes.
And who seconded
Nobody
it?
seconded.
No, I'll second.
Okay, I just want to make clear for the record, the motion is actually, I know, Doug, you're adjusting a little bit in there, so I'm trying to figure it out. It's a motion to approve $88,000, 7% retirement increase, and the assumption of the new title with the additional job duties as outlined by Andy. Is that
That's correct.
As of January 1st, right?
As of January 1st. Thank you.
Correct. And we have a motion and a, Gary seconded. Any members of the public wish to comment on this discussion item? Seeing none, public comment is now closed. Council, do you?
One other question.
Absolutely, Doug.
Russell, you have to promise us, if something comes up, we get first right of refusal.
Absolutely.
Okay. Give us an opportunity to negotiate. I hear you. That's
Better than nothing, right?
Council, if you don't have any additional questions, comments, or concerns, call the question, please.
This is a little odd for me.
I was going to say, wait, I want an opinion. This isn't a conflict. This isn't a conflict.
Pass it over to Keith.
Councilmember Breakers?
Yes.
Councilmember McKay?
Yes.
Councilmember Jablonski?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fisickelli?
Yes.
Mayor Nelson?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Okay, that concludes item number
Mayor?
11. Steve?
Can we, I think Russell just had a word.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, Russell, I didn't see you.
I just wanted to, first of all, thank you all for the consideration, and I'm very, very flattered that you wanted to keep me here longer. I think if I were to ask my wife if she wanted to keep me for 4 years, I don't know that she would want to do that. So I appreciate that you want to keep me here. My only concern, obviously, is, you know, my current contract didn't have a time stipulation in it right now, but I don't want you to think that I'm not appreciative, and like I've told Andy from day one, I plan on being here as long as Andy's here. So that's my commitment to Andy. I have no immediate plans to leave anytime soon. I'm very happy here and very pleased to work with the staff. They've been amazing, and the council's been amazing, and I look forward to many more years here. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Awesome.
Fantastic, fantastic. Just a great thing happened tonight. We're just absolutely thrilled. Item number 12, which is approval of the minutes for the regular meeting on December 11, 2014.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. I know you read these things, Newell. I'm going to put it out there anyway because there has been correction. It hasn't been unprecedented. So no members of the public wish to comment on this item. That means the minutes must be good. Council, we have a motion and a second to approve. Russell, call the question, please.
Councilmember Brighters?
Yes.
Councilmember McKay?
Yes.
Councilmember Jablonski?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fisickelli?
Yes.
Mayor Nelson?
Yes. This meeting, I am sure it is a consensus, is adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen, and congratulations to you all. We appreciate everything you've done. Members of the public, thank you for being